In this presentation, I will be exploring the Disneyfication of the South, why people are extreme fans and consumers of Disney, and why people, both young and old, dress up as Disney characters. Also, I will be examining the effects in which the multi-million-dollar American company has on its fans. A fan or supporter is a person who is enthusiastically devoted to something, such as a band, a sports team, or an entertainer. Collectively, fans of a particular thing or person constitute its fan base or fandom. They may show their enthusiasm by being members of a fan club, holding fan conventions, writing fan mail, or promoting the object of their interest and attention. There are many fans of Disneyland all over the world. However, it can be more important to some more than others. For some people, Disneyland is actually their favourite place in the world and has special emotional significance to them. If you have ever wondered why some people may seem addicted to Disneyland, the following reasons may shed some light on the subject. Disneyland treats everybody like they are special. Disneyland lets guests check their troubles at the gate. Disneyland helped a lot of adults cope with their troubled childhood. Disneyland is an easy place to make happy memories with your children. But what are people searching for when they go to Disneyland or dress up as Disney characters? The term cosplay comes from the words costume and play, and takes the expression of fan devotion to the level of self-sacrifice. Cosplayers often interact to create a subculture centred on roleplay. A broader use of the term cosplay applies to any costume roleplay in venues apart from the stage, regardless of the cultural context. This is taking Goffman's idea of self-presentation to the limit. For example, persona. This is the different masks we wear in different situations for different people. For instance, the way we behave with our family at a picnic is different to the way we behave when we are in costume. Carl Rogers' concentric circles shows 3 layers to a person's sense of self. These are public, private and core selves. The public self refers to an individual who has consciously or unconsciously blurred the boundaries between childhood, adulthood, illusion and reality, for the sake of satisfaction, devotion and/or subcultural status. Their private self is something they would keep within the family, so this seems to be that they dress up to remind themselves of their childhood. They may enjoy this for many reasons, including dressing up as their favourite childhood character to make them feel young again. From Naomi, a cosplayer, she describes cosplaying to her as a way of becoming somebody else for a brief moment in time, to reenact the stories that she adores through the characters that she portrays. She loves being able to bring a life to a character through cosplay. It's a rather rewarding experience. A regular question asked to those who cosplay is why they dress up, or are they not too old to dress up, and this usually relates to their core self, such as, are they trying to achieve an ideal self, somebody they can be just for one day? Adults usually dress up to fulfill their inner child and thus forget their worries for a couple of hours. To Lior, cosplay means to be able to disappear from the world and its problems for some moments. It means to imagine, create and be with your friends. Obsessive Disney disorder, or ODD, refers to those who relate to everything Disney, talk in Disney quotes and get Disney tattoos. It is common in adults who are trying to keep in touch with their childhood. They tend to value their Disney merchandise and buy everything they see related to Disney, regardless of their age. This can refer to Burns' 3-stage ego state study of parent, adult and child. Are these people reluctant to becoming an adult and growing up? These 3 stages show the transaction between being a parent, an adult and a child. However, Burns would argue that once you become an adult, you leave your childhood behind you as you have new responsibilities. During your life, you learn from those older than you, i.e. parents, neighbours, teachers, etc., and thus learn life skills and lessons. Most of the time, we follow and copy our elders and begin to grow up. However, Burns would argue that those who grow up and still obsess over Disney have not been socialised or cultured properly. For example, once you get to a certain age, you realise that Disney is just a fairy tale and you will not live like that no matter how hard you try. Burns would argue that yes, you can watch the films and enjoy them, but they are made for the enjoyment of children with childish connotations, and thus those adults who are extreme Disney fans are still trying to relate back to their childhood. Marxists would argue that popular cultural institutions like Disney actively communicate and encourage potential customers to behave juvenile so they are easily persuaded and influenced, and in turn spend their money on Disney practices and products more readily. Market liberalists would of course disagree and argue that consumers are intelligent enough to make up their own minds and make informed decisions. For example, if they want something, i.e. a new teddy or a doll, for themselves or a younger sibling, they will go out and buy it. It is not necessarily the TV adverts that they are watching that are making them go to the Disney store. Groupthink is a psychological phenomenon that can occur in groups of people. Rather than critically evaluating information, the group members begin to form quick opinions that match the group's consensus. This is where the extreme Disney fans have Disney chat rooms to discuss what they like about the new and old Disney films. The main theme in conversation in these chat rooms are about the love for the Disney films and the products they have bought. For example, in one chat between Disney fans, they are discussing how much they loved the new Toy Story film in 2010 and how they have been to the cinema, bought the t-shirts, the new toys, and are waiting for the DVD to come out so they can buy that. This relates to how people are influenced by consumerism and by everything related to that latest trend. Those who join these groups tend to be adults and discuss their love for Disney films as if they need reassurance that they are not too old to have this obsession, and thus have other people telling them it's okay. So spending their money on buying the latest products and watching the latest films helps them keep in touch with their inner child. Getting Disney tattoos can be said to be a form of consumer tribalism, an intimate method to feel and to prove that you belong to something larger than yourself. If an individual is devoted to something, some may say it is their religion and they worship it. For example, in Christianity, worship is a central act of identity. Disney fans that are devoted to Disney will visit all the theme parks, watch the movies repeatedly and buy the merchandise. At Disney World, Disneyland and the Disney stores worldwide, you can find any type of merchandise imaginable, with products ranging from cookbooks, kitchenware to bath products and clothes. Fans can actually eat, breathe and live Disney. Market liberals see the free market as an instrument to achieve certain goals. Market liberalists would argue that the consumption of Disney products by children and adults as a way of making money is nothing wrong, as this practice keeps society productive, creates jobs and allows consumers a freedom of choice. However, Veblen argued that wealthy individuals often consume highly conspicuous goods and services in order to advertise their wealth, thereby achieving greater social status. Marxists would not agree with the likes of market liberalists, as they believe that Walt Disney & Co. are only producing goods for those with disposable incomes and not the poor or the underclass. Feminists would argue that Disney isn't really about having fun, but is about communicating patriarchal ideology and values. For example, in the story of Snow White, she must cook, clean and tidy in order to have somewhere to stay, whilst the dwarves, who are all 7 men, go out to work. Feminists would also question what view of gender young Disney fans are buying into. Since the first Disney movie in 1937, there has been tension between the Disney Corporation and the feminist movement, due to the representation of women as princesses and men as knights in shining armour. Feminists such as Laura Mulvey are hugely critical of the way women are portrayed in Disney films, such as Snow White. She has to cook, clean and keep the house tidy for when the men get home from work. What is this teaching young girls, that it is okay for you to do all that just to fulfil the needs of men? Disney & Co. put merchandise in the children's line of vision, i.e. on shelves at eye level, so the children will see it and ask for it. They will maximise their profit by making a film whereby the child would want the t-shirt to go with the film they are watching. They will then create the dolls and the toys of each character in which the children will want to buy. Parents will use such products as a distraction, a substitute nanny or a childminder while they do other non-family related things. Disney World is the ultimate showcase for postmodernists. Because of the way it uses simulation to create the illusion, we can overcome the limits of time and space, self and society. But many of the ideas it conveys are false, making it a vision of illusion in more than one sense. It creates a new social reality which Baudrillard terms hyperreality. As Disney's illusions are successful, it seems to reveal that consumers find reality unfulfilling. Disney World lets the visitors escape the fallen state of society and the self. It creates idealised visions of American capitalism and the American dream, and draws visitors into a world of celebration full of parades and fireworks, with costume performers and endless invitations to fun. Post-colonialists would argue that Disney promotes American values across the world and supports racial stereotypes. For example, in The Princess of the Frog, Tiana, the princess in the movie, was the very first Disney princess of the African-American descent. The studio executives in Disney decided to change the name of the princess at the very last minute from Maddie to Tiana. Tiana was more ethnic sounding, which generally fit Disney's portrayal of somebody of the African-American descent. From this presentation, I can see that people enjoy buying Disney merchandise to make themselves and others happy, whether or not they have the money to, and the spread of globalisation has supported the gendered and racial stereotypes throughout Disney movies. Thank you for watching my presentation on the Disneyfication of the South.